how I went from talking to bankruptcy lawyers to making $40K a month of recurring revenue in just 14 days. The year was 2022. I had just sold the biggest business that I had ever built, and I thought I was set for life. Unfortunately, life has a way of throwing curveballs, and things didn't work out exactly as I hoped. The person who bought my business had been my friend for years, so I trusted him when I sold everything, and we signed the contract and everything went well. He offered to buy the business on a payment plan, so he didn't pay me anything when he actually got the business. And then the second payment was due. It didn't arrive. He would always come up with this great excuse. I followed up with this for 6 months, and eventually the reality of the situation hit me. He had stolen my business, something I'd spent almost 20 years building, and I was left with nothing. I had no income and I had no way to pay rent. I had actually talked to bankruptcy lawyers to see if that was my way out of it. But after entering depression and getting out of it, within 2 weeks, I had found a way to make $40,000 a month in recurring revenue. This was the lowest I had ever been in my life. I had depression, but it took me a month to figure out I actually had depression because I'd never had it before. Like, I didn't even know what was going on. I had trouble waking up in the morning. One of my biggest accomplishments every single day was not to break down before my 4-year-old son went to school. These were dark times. We were at the point where we were about to lose our home. And I wish I could tell you that at that point, I put on my big boy pants and I got out there and I got to work. But it wasn't that easy. It wasn't enough to get to that level. But it was enough for me to take one step forward and then another. And eventually, this led me to bringing in ups. It wasn't that suddenly in some moment something clicked and everything started working. It was this gradual process for me to get out. But one day I was out enough that I could start thinking ahead. How do I solve this problem? Not only for me, but for my family. We needed this. All of our dreams for 20 years had been blown up. What do we do? We were 2 weeks away from having $0 in our bank account. And that counts our credit cards. We had already maxed all of those out. So I had to come up with something. And in that moment of desperation, I decided to do the one thing that I had never done in my 20 years of building businesses. And that was to reach out to my friends for help. The first step in this process was for me to swallow my pride. A lot of us have that as entrepreneurs. We position ourselves as the experts. We're not the people who ask for help. We're the people ask to help them. I had to put that aside because I had a family to take care of. So what did I do? I started going through my list on LinkedIn and Facebook, finding all the contacts that I had in there that I thought would be relevant. You see, I hadn't really lost everything. I had lost the business, but I had been building successful online education businesses for 20 years. At that point, I had launched 22 profitable companies. I just had to remember that. Almost everybody out there with experience has this behind them. You can lose your job, you can lose your business, but you can't lose who you are. Remembering that stirred me to action. So I made a list of 101 contacts from all these different sources. I got all their emails ready, and I made this plan where I was going to reach out to every single one of them with a personalized video, one-on-one. And what was my offer? Look, I know how to build online education companies. Do you want to do that? Or do you know somebody else who wants to do that? It was that simple. If you don't know, give me some feedback. Like, will this idea work for you? Will it not work for you? Like, what do you like about it? And I made 1 to 2 minute videos for people and started sending them out. I didn't do 101 in a day. It was way too embarrassing. So I would do about 5 a day. To my surprise, as I sent those emails out, as I made the videos and I sent them out over a course of 2 weeks, almost every single one of those people answered. And either they wanted to do this or they knew somebody who did. So within 14 days, I went from making almost zero income to bringing in $40,000 a month in reoccurring revenue because people were willing to pay for my knowledge and experience and they saw the value in it, even when I didn't see it myself. One thing I learned in this process is that nobody's going to come out there and save you. You have to take control of your own life into your own hands and take responsibility for everything, even if something bad happened to you. You can do what I did and spend 2 or 3 months mourning and feeling sorry for yourself. Or you can take the future me, the me that took those 2 weeks and transitioned my life from depression into success. And I not only changed the life for me, I changed the life and outlook for my entire family going forward and ever since. So if you feel like you're on the bottom right now, this video is for you. You might just be a few emails to friends away from getting out of this. Click on the link below, clone my exact outreach system and video guide on how I went from 0 to 40K a month MRR. No generic emails, no copy paste DMs, just you being you, reaching out to your friends. Just go grab it in the description section. It's 100% free.